Yeah, I mean, I would just go back to where we left it off before. I don't think it can survive in its current form because it's essentially it's a kind of a linear process monster that uses tremendous amounts of energy badly to create enormous amounts of waste that we can't deal with. And we need to basically get to a much more closed loop circular form of capitalism operating at different scales with multiple levels of redundancy. And that can be done. Right? So I think, that's it. But here's the weird thing. Let's go back and think about capitalism as a thing. If you define capitalism as voluntary interaction through a price mechanism in order to exchange goods and services, then we've always had capitalism, right? The Roman Empire was capitalist. Now, but that's a crazy thing to say because 90% of the work was done by slaves, right? So if a 90% of society run by slaves is also capitalist and we're also capitalist, then the word becomes meaningless. So in a sense, you can sort of elevate it up and say, well, we've always had markets, we've always had market exchange, we've always been capitalist. And I think that's kind of right. But at the same time, when you think about concrete historical social formations where markets have been employed, pace the Roman Empire, etc., then they're massively different. And surely the fact that 90% of production was done by slaves matters more than the fact that they had a mortgage market for very rich Romans. So again, the devil is in the details here. If we define it in that broad way, it lasts as long as we last because market exchange is really, really efficient. And until we get to the point of having Star Trek matter replicators, where literally there are no more resource constraints, then we will have market exchange and we will have price mechanisms, etc. It's going to be very different once we really grapple with the green transition and hopefully get to the other side. And hopefully that happens in my lifetime and I get to see it. But it will, to quote Star Trek again, it's capitalism, Jim, just not as we know it.